Yep.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Shell's Pearls of Wisdom. I look a little bit different today because I'm in my pinup attire. So today I'm going to be Miss Coco Chanel. Yeah, you like all that, don't you? All right, before we get started, I just want you guys to hit like, subscribe at the bottom of the screen. Click, 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 click. It only takes a second. Click it. Okay, so I want to introduce you to the person I'm going to interview today. Your name is,
My name is Stephanie.
and your pinup name.
Fanny Bruiser.
Oh my God, I love it. Every time she says it, brings such a smile to my face. I met Fanny Bruiser this year, earlier in February, late February, and she competed with myself and a bunch of other beautiful women in Miss Autorama in Detroit, Michigan. I made the journey of the 4.5, almost 5 hour journey to do this competition, and it turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life. One being because I got to meet Miss Stephanie, aka Fanny Bruiser. I'm just gonna jump right in and tell you I love this girl. She is amazing. She is like 5 foot nothing, and
I am too.
she is cuter than a button, and she has a personality bigger than life. And I tell you, when she stepped on stage in her hot Petno Bismo Barbie Princess Queen outfit, I fell in love with her. A, because she had the brave enough to bring in the Dream House Barbie outfit, which was amazing. Because honestly, I've never seen something so glorious in all my life. And I mean, her train of her dress was like a wedding dress.
Mhm.
It must have weighed 1,000 pounds. It looked like the heaviest dress in the world. Did you make
It,
it? Did you buy it? Like, where did you get it?
no, it is it was well, I'm not sure how honest the seller was with me, but she said it was from Unique Vintage and it was from the Barbie line. So like
You look
yeah,
like a Barbie. Like,
yeah.
you totally did. Like, you have the diamonds and the purse. Like, she
Yeah.
put it together. I wish I had a picture of it right now so I could show you how like badass she looked. She looked amazing. I might have to try to edit that in there so I can
Oh
show
yeah, you can steal a picture and put it in there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like add a little picture so that you guys can actually see like
Yeah.
how badass she looked. And I love her porcelain skin. So with her porcelain skin and the bright pink, it just made it just pop, and it just came together very well. So,
Oh, thank
um,
you.
and she made it on the stage with us for the top five women. And I don't know how the judges made their decision because
I
it
don't
was
know either.
super hard. Like,
No idea.
everybody looked great. Everybody had like the best answer. Like,
I
as
know.
soon as I would hear somebody else's answer, I was like, "Oh, that was really good." And then the next
I
person
know.
would say
After
it.
your guys' answer, I was like, dang, now what am I gonna say?
That's the only reason why I was happy to go first. So I was like, "Damn, let me just get this out of the way." But then when I
Yeah.
was hearing other people's, I was like, "Damn, I forgot to say that part."
I know.
So
I know.
it's hard. You're on
It
when
is.
you're on the spot like that. It's
Yeah.
hard. But I think everybody did such an amazing job. And the one thing that Fanny talked about in her speech of why she should become Miss Autorama was the fact of like the little girl aspect of like how we all wanted to be like the princess, and we all always wanted to be the Barbie doll. And that is so true, because even for myself, being an African American woman, they didn't have a lot of Barbie dolls that represented me. So when you said that, it really hit home, because
Hmm.
I didn't have that to really
Hmm.
represent for what now there's tons of them. There's
Yeah.
there's tons of different colors, different nationalities. Now they're like hippie, busty, skinny.
I
Like,
know. I
it's like
know.
amazing now.
I know.
So
I'm glad
when
that
you
they went through and they did that,
yeah,
because
they needed to. They
there
needed
isn't just
to.
one type of little girl out there.
Exactly. I
you
mean,
know, and I get
I'm
so many little girls at shows that when they see me, they're like, like I am just, ooh.
yeah,
So I turn it around though, and I make sure I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so pretty.
yes,
Can I have
yes.
my picture with you? And they're like,
That,
with me?
that's
And
exact.
I
I
like
was
to make the
walking,
little
and this
girls
little
laugh.
girl goes, "Mom, she's the black
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she's a Disney princess. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, like this little girl thinks I'm a black princess. I have to take a picture with her.
Yes.
So definitely, I understand the emotional connection to want to do that because it is hard for little girls nowadays, as we talked about off
Hmm.
camera, that we don't have enough positivity amongst us women.
Right.
And so if a little girl wants to come up to you and say how beautiful you are and she wants to be just like you, it is almost like our duty to like be that inspiration or be that role model
Yeah.
because you don't know what they have at home to look up to and they might not have
Right.
it. So
Right, exactly. And that, and that's why I said what I did about, anyone can do this.
yeah,
It doesn't take, I don't know. I mean, it does take guts. It takes guts to get up on stage, but even to do a photo shoot and that, but I think that every woman should experience it at least once, just to, get their spirit up, to show them, to look in the mirror and be like, wow, look at me. You know what I mean? And peanut gallery.
Peanuts in the background too, playing video games and yelling. I'm about to go back there and get some black eyes. I'm just saying.
She's talking about her peanut gallery. um but I really think it is a boost in confidence, and that's why I said about doing at least one show or one anything, because you never know what you can do until you do it. And going through things in life that we do, it tends to beat you down, and you really don't know your self-worth, and and then you don't know how big of a role model you are to other people.
Yeah.
I had a leaky eye here, I see.
Oh no, it's the mascara.
I'm getting emotional already. But yeah, I mean, you go through so many things in life, and it just, you're just doing the same things every day, or you're stuck in a situation, and when you get out, you kind of don't know who you are. And like for me, my marriage, so I didn't know who I was after I was divorced, and I went through a lot of emotional and verbal abuse during that time, and I was beaten down so far, and I had to walk down on eggshells, and just worried about, am I gonna upset him, or what is he gonna call me today, or you know what I mean? And just after years and years and years of going through that, and even now I still get triggered, and it sucks, because you get to a point where you think you're over it or you've healed, and those wounds are always open. And I have found that with Pinup, I'm able to, I've found some really good girlfriends, and a lot of us, I would venture to say 90% of us have gone through an emotional, or I mean, a abusive relationship, or an abusive marriage, or something like that, and they didn't have the confidence to try Pinup until after they were out of it. And if I were still married, I would have never gotten into Pinup. He would have never allowed it. There were times where, at an age when we were young, but he controlled everything I did. I couldn't talk to certain people, I couldn't wear my hair certain ways, I couldn't wear makeup. Like, there was just so many little things. I mean, like, I was under the thumb, and
God, that
so
angers me. I don't even know him, but I just want to go punch him in his balls.
and that's it. Nobody would think that, knowing who I am now, but it took a long time to find me, and like, people, are like, well, I can't imagine you going through something like that, or letting someone do that to you.
Right.
The love will do some
it's
crazy
because
things.
you come across so strong and independent that that people probably could not see past your persona. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Women that are going through an abusive relationship or situation, we have learned to put these
Absolutely.
masks on because that's the only way we survive. Only way.
Absolutely. And if you've got kids, you've got to be strong for them.
Yep.
You've got to be mom, and not get emotional in front of them. Try not to get emotional in front of them. Try not to let what's going on between you two affect them. And, you know, you got to stay strong. But inside you're just, and
So
just
let me
so.
ask you a question, Stephanie. Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
How long were you married?
I was married only 4 years, but we were together for 20.
Okay. So you have children with him, I'm assuming?
Yes, we have three. They will be 21, 20, and 14 this year.
And I'm sure I love the face you gave. That was like the craziest face. Like, I get it.
Can't believe it.
So just to kind of dive into a little bit of like the abuse, I like to ask when a person shares something like that, can you give me an example of a time where it was just one of those moments where you were like, this can't go on anymore. I have to go. I have to leave.
Can't honestly pinpoint one. There was many, and I left, and I went back. You know, I was young, didn't know any better. There were times where I had to plan an escape, or I didn't have to, I couldn't let anyone know what I was doing. And one day when he was at work, I just had to go because I knew he would find me, and he would, like, one time when I left, he taunted me. He would drive past my house and yell things because, you know, we were right by the road where we lived, and he actually lived right around the corner. But I can't pinpoint it to just one thing, but it was one thing and then another and then another, and then you're like, whoa, I got to get out of here. You know, this isn't going to be, you know, good. And there was one time where he had went to the bar after work and didn't come home. This is before cell phones. Didn't come home, and I was worried, obviously. So it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he came home, and I'm like, where have you been? You know, our car at the time didn't have like tags and insurance. I mean, it was a crazy situation. And I paid for asking where he had been. And then the next time it happened, I didn't say anything because I'm like, well, last time I know I said something and I found out what happened. So I didn't say anything, and I ended up on the floor being choked. And the roommate and his mother actually had to come and get him off of me.
Wow.
So that's, and that, you know, there's many examples I could give, but
So what was the day that you left? How did that make you feel?
um honestly, when I left, it was kind of a different situation because we were in Texas and he was deployed, and talk of divorce was, you know, a lot before then. And when he went to Iraq, he kind of forgot about us. So that was pretty much it for me.
Well, you
And
know what? I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't know exactly how you did it and where you found the strength to do it, but I'm so happy. This man is behind you doing a dance.
we're trying to be serious.
No touchy.
I swear.
Don't love it till like you wasn't there. Well, like,
I was like,
like he might start stripping or something. So I feel like I gotta say something before it gets a little X-rated.
God. Oh my
But
God.
on a serious note, like I don't know exactly when, how, or what gave you that final push, and the fact that maybe God opened up the means by having him off to war
Mhm.
and not having to be there in front of your face, in front of your kids, was probably the easiest way because it was not a like
Right.
hurry up, come on kids, get in the car, let's go. Like I'm glad
Right.
it wasn't like that for you.
Yeah.
But let's say I love to play devil's advocate. That's like my
Mhm.
favorite thing to do.
Mhm.
Let's say that was not your opportunity. Let's say he did not go off to Iraq. Let's say he did not forget about you and your family. What in your mind was going to be your exit plan? Did you ever think of that? I mean, you said you did it many times. You would come, go. so
I
that
did.
our young girls or our other women, young women out there that are going through something like that,
Mhm.
give them some kind of insight of how
Yeah,
they
I
go
see what you
about doing
mean.
it.
I guess just I mean another way that you could spin it too is would you want a young man treating your daughter that way that you're being treated? You know, that's a way to, or would you want your son to be treating a woman that way? And um I don't know. If you're feeling like you oh, I thought he was sorry. Um it's hard to describe because love does some crazy things. And when you're in a relationship and you're kind of blinded and oh he would, oh he'll do this but he won't do that,
Oh, I'm in this relationship now. I'll take care of her.
I was gonna say, you seem like you have a really nice guy in your life right now. He
He's
seems
a
like
god.
a goofball, but I'd rather take a goofball over a asshole any day.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I've been through the ringer since the divorce and he's a godsend, honestly.
Yeah. How long have you been officially divorced?
11 years.
11 years. Did
Mhm.
he put up a fight or did he just sign the papers?
Actually, it took a while for him to sign the papers. We went back and forth. You file, no, you file, you file, no, you file. And so it took a while, but he found someone else when he was in Iraq and she was here. And
You know
yeah.
what? Heather could say congratulations, honey buns. You inherited
Not my problem
someone
anymore.
else's problem. Right. Exactly. Amen.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's like like I was saying, love does some crazy things, and you would think, okay, well, maybe he, pushed me, but he won't ever hit me, or maybe he's just calling me names, but he would never get physical. Don't ever think that it's not possible. It's
That
coming.
was
That's
my
yourself like negotiating with your own self, and you should
Right.
never negotiate your
But he
feelings.
loves me, but he does this for me, and he does this for me, and I don't think I'm gonna find somebody else that does that for me, or things like that. And don't talk yourself out of it. If you know.
My biggest thing I tell girls is love is like a drug. Love
Mm-hmm,
is the most powerful drug in the world. It will make you
mm-hmm,
do the dumbest things that you would never,
mm-hmm,
ever do. But because you're in love, it makes you question your own
mm-hmm.
sanity. It makes you question your own decisions.
And you'll overlook things that you normally wouldn't overlook, and you won't notice like a lot. And then a lot of times you don't realize it until after the fact.
Right.
Yeah, then you're like, oh my god, I really went through that. I did that. And then you start to build that confidence. You're like, if I could go through that, if I can deal with
Yeah.
that guy, then you know
Right.
what I mean. Yeah, you build your confidence.
So, how much longer after you officially divorced did you find this knucklehead behind you?
2 years ago, actually, we were friends for a year, and then yeah, and then we started hanging out, and
I kind of went through the same thing, only on the
yeah,
flip side. So
Oh,
I get.
really?
yeah.
So,
Hmm.
you were in an abusive relationship, but the woman was
I
abusive.
wouldn't say abusive. I would just say she
Well,
was
you.
more into like she was getting started in a career like where it's like I don't know, like reality TV type gig. So she drifted way far east, thinking she was a super rock star, and went to her.
Oh.
I was on the back burner. You suck, blah blah.
So,
Meaning
how
you.
do you feel with after having a relationship like that? Now with Fanny, I mean, she can easily get someone to notice her one day at one of these shows and be like, you
But I used
know,
to. That's all. What cakewalk? That's a cakewalk. To me.
okay.
This
So
one.
you're not opposed to watching her soar and find her,
Yeah.
her inner
Do
diva. You're okay with this.
you, man? You know what I
I love
mean?
it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I love it. Do you, boo? There you
Yeah.
go. High five. High five. So, also, you said that you have 3 kids, and that, of course, they're your loves of your life. I'm sure if you're anything like me, they're my everything. So, I'm sure that they're not blind. I'm sure they witnessed you go through a lot of this. how are they after going through seeing their mom in this relationship?
Well, luckily, so we had so my youngest came 7 years after the first two. And my daughter she is adopted to my parents, but she, it's been an open thing since probably they were 2 or 3 years old. Grandma couldn't keep nothing straight, so we just told them. So, but that's a whole nother story. My parents actually had my oldest also, but a lot of that had to do with the abuse that was going on in the relationship.
Right.
So my youngest was young enough that he doesn't remember any of it. Allie wasn't around to notice any of it either. And then my oldest Cameron, he did witness some of it, but only a short period of it. But then after he came back and we divorced and he got remarried and everything, they spend a lot of time they did spend a lot of time over there. But they see what kind of guy he is, and they, I never talked bad about him, and I always just let them make their own decision, to see what see, for them to see his character.
Let him show his true light, and they'll see it. Yeah.
And he's actually, within the last couple of years, since our oldest turned 18, he's been pretty candid with him about things, and he has said, I did not treat your mother well. So wow. I mean, I know. So even that, I'm just like, okay.
That's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of amazing, because a lot of people that are the abuser in a relationship are in denial. They deny, and they never want to look like a bad guy.
There's been plenty of years that your mom was just playing the victim. Your mom was playing the victim. I was a freaking victim. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I was, to the point where, I mean, like, my OCD was so bad, because if he came home and the house wasn't immaculate, it would be, what'd you do? Sit on your fat ass all day? What did you do? Oh, I don't know. I'm just taking care of a couple kids. Dinner's ready. Laundry's done. Put away. You know what I mean? Everything was done. Everything was in its place. Everything, every day was like that. And if he came home and something was out of place or wasn't quite done, then I heard it. So it was like.
Let me ask you something. Like, with that being said, how is it with you with a new relationship? Did you bring any of your baggage? Did you bring any of your OCD,
Absolutely.
any of your anxiety, any of that to your new relationship?
Absolutely. I didn't realize I didn't realize anxiety was what I was going through until about 7 years ago. I didn't realize that was what I was suffering from. But, and your chest and gets tight, and then your brain just starts thinking of all these things, and like, okay, what if this, and what if this, and what if this, and what if this? So I'm still battling that. My OCD has gotten better. But I mean, I used to be the one that would, in the refrigerator, everything was turned the right way. In the cupboards, everything was turned the right way. Everything on the tables, everything. I still like to have things in their place, but I'm not as bad. But as far as, and then, okay, so after I got divorced, it was internet dating. Internet dating started. And so I went through that whole thing. I mean, and I should have wrote a book, and I'd be a millionaire now if just to tell you the things that I went through, because people are. But I mean,
I would hate to ever start over and have to go in that life. I'd rather be alone and a hermit under the bridge, because I do not want that at all.
And that's why I got lucky with him, because when we made friends was when he was starting his divorce. Excuse me. And so he hadn't been jaded by any of the online stuff. And as soon as I got to know him, I'm like, oh my God, this guy has just got such a good heart. And I can't imagine, I better snatch him up, because I cannot imagine these girls these days, just ripping someone like him apart, just using him. And, I'm so glad that he picked me and didn't go through.
I think it's the other way around. I think you guys were both good for each other. Maybe you guys both found each other when you both needed what the
Yeah.
other person had to offer.
Yeah.
So
But I have ruined, I think, and I'm probably just being that way just because, but I think I've probably ruined a lot of good opportunities. Obviously they weren't meant to be, but I think I have ruined a lot of my good opportunities because of like jealousy, insecurities, you know, and I have
sabotaging.
baggage with me all this time, even though I've tried so hard to get rid of it. It's still there. It's still that nagging voice in the back of your head, you know, like, oh nope, he's not answering his phone. Then, oh, what's he doing? Oh, well, he hasn't checked in a while, oh, you know. But I've went through, it's like I have a reason to feel the way I do, and sometimes I don't feel validated, you know, because I did go through this and this and this. There is a reason I think this way. There's a reason I don't trust. There's a reason, you know, that I can't take someone at face value. I'm always like,
You're jaded. You're jaded.
And I really try to trust my gut when, you know, when it comes to people. But I tell you, people hide themselves well, like, you know, in the last few years.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing because, like I said, I'm glad that you're sharing your story because, like, there's many women out there that are currently going through abuse. And I love the fact that you brought up that abuse doesn't always have to just be physical. It can definitely be mental and emotional abuse and verbal abuse. And what people really don't hear too much of is the mental abuse. A lot of people hear physical and they hear verbal. Mentally is exactly what Stephanie is going through when she has like the OCD, and then she can't really trust people, and she's almost a little bit paranoid because she doesn't know like if people are showing their true colors or if they're just trying to get her sucked in just for them to abuse her again. And that mentally is going to probably be with her, unfortunately, for the rest of her life.
There was things too, like mentally, he would say, like, because I'm sure there's got to be someone else out there that is going through this too, you know. And like when it came to sex, you know, it was, you know, if you don't, then I'm going elsewhere, or you know what I mean, things like that. And that's that mental stuff, because then you're like, oh my God, if I don't, then he's gonna go cheat on me. And so then it's not even intimate anymore. It's a chore.
It's like a job.
And
it's a chore.
I have to do this. Yeah. And if I don't, then this is what he's going to do. And so I know other people have gotten hearing that also. And then they got to know that they don't have to go through that.
Right. Well, like I said, it's never going to be easy. I've never talked to any woman about this subject who's still not whole. That's the best way I can describe it. They're happy, but they're not whole. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I look at you like a puzzle, and I feel like your puzzle's almost put together, but you're gonna have like little pieces missing here and missing there. If you ever feel like you need someone to talk to, of course, now you know me. You can always talk to me.
I've always said that. I've always compared myself to an onion.
You have many layers, right? And then as you're peeling them back, it makes you emotional and you start to cry. It is like that.
Or when you first meet me, this is what you get. And then when I start to see that I can trust you and that I can open up to you a little bit, and if I tell you things that you're going to keep that, you know, and you're going to take that mental note and be like, okay, she's been through this, so, you know, I'm a handle with care. You know, I like, it's really weird because I'm like, I'm Fanny, but yet I'm just a little girl.
Yeah. It's okay though, because some of the most precious stones in the world are the fragilest stones too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's just what you are. You're a beautiful stone, but you just can't be dropped because you're fragile. And I'm hoping that the guy that you're with will handle you with care.
That's right. And he does. He's a very good guy. I'm very lucky. And I do thank God every day. Well, most every day now that we're in this quarantine.
Well, let's put it this way. If he's a man, he's still going to have his moments because all men fuck up. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best ones. You guys got some. You got some. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Like
Yeah.
everybody has one. I get it too. I understand.
You know, and I'm so lucky with him because he's not even like really, you know, computer savvy or like tech savvy, and he doesn't get into all that online or on the, you know, the apps on the phone. He likes to sleep and go to the gym, and that's it. So I don't really have to worry about where he is. Or
You're not
what
checking in on him at 4:00 in the morning because he's right next to your ass.
That's right. That's right. And that really,
and great, and rightfully so. That's where he should be. So
and it does really help with my insecurities and you know, my trust issues, because I do know I don't have to question, and I don't have to use that defense mechanism, you know, of thinking all the way around the situation to see how I'm going to handle it if it happens.
Well, I'm going to wrap up this first segment because I think you've done an excellent job explaining your story. And I'm going to leave the floor up to you. And I want you to take your opportunity now to express what your pearls of wisdom is.
Oh, my pearls of wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
So my pearl of wisdom is you are always stronger than you think. And I tell my daughter that she was going to be moving to Arizona, and she was worried, and she wasn't going to have a vehicle. And I said, you know what? I said, it's going to be fine. You're going to get out there to aunt and uncles, and, you know, you're going to find a way. You will always find a way. You are my daughter. You are going to find a way. So and like with my sons, or even with anyone that I give advice to, you can do it. You can do it. Whatever it is you put your mind to, you want it, then you can get it. You can do it. You can get that job. You can step out in high heels. You can, you know what I mean? You can wear a corset. You can wear a wig. You can do some makeup. I mean, whatever. You can wear stiletto nails if you want. You know, you can leave that guy. You can leave that woman. You know what I mean? You can teach that class. You anything. You are stronger than you think.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that one. That is a great point, and I'm gonna piggyback off of hers and do my pearls of wisdom. And basically, just listening to her story has inspired me with a little pearl. And my pearl that I want to say is, even when you're broken, it doesn't mean you can't heal. It just means it needs time. That's it.
And there's no time frame. There's no time frame.
Nope, you're absolutely right.
Because I thought a year later, you know, I was like, oh, I'm good. And then something happened. The Lord showed me, nope, you're not ready yet, you know. And funny story is because I was single for so long, I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I'm ready for a man. And I asked for this type of man. And so I got that kind of man. And then I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want. So then I'd say, okay, Lord, give me this kind of man. Bring this kind of man into my life. I got that kind of man. And then again, I do not like that kind of man. So then I said, all right, Lord, I give it up to you. You know, and people don't really see me as really religious, but I'm spiritual, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so then I said, all right, Lord, I'm good. I'll just float along by myself. You know, no worries. Me and my kids, we're good. And yeah, so and then he came along, and there we
go. See, and that's the thing I tell women all the time. When you stop looking, that's when it will come. When you stop trying so hard and casting this net out and trying to catch this fish. No, fishing is one of the most patient sports in the world, and they just put their paw out there and they just wait, and you will get a bite. And you got a great fish on your hook. And I think the whole entire thing just froze on me. Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of a technical glitch, but we're back.
My internet is just being funky today. I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
So what I was going to say is that we actually call each other fish.
Oh.
he loves to fish, and I had sent him a meme in the very beginning, and it was a meme of all, it was like, all these little fish, and then this last one was different, and it says, there's plenty of fish in the sea, but see that one? That's mine, don't touch that, it's my back. So we call each other fish.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that.
It started out fish, and now it's every derivative of fish. Huh?
I love it. I love the two of you together. Hopefully, when I come out to Detroit and if we see each other in future competitions, I get to meet his lovely self in person.
Oh, you will.
I need to know who can tame Miss Fanny Bruiser.
That's right. You hit the nail on the head there.
I just want to know who can tame you, But so I'm gonna wrap up this first segment with Miss Fanny Bruiser. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do round 2. We're gonna ask her just more fun stories about her life, maybe some childhood stories. But I know she has a ton of stories to share, and she has a personality bigger than life. So I can't wait to dive into some of that. So come back and let's talk more with Fanny. Bye.